So let's get
Yeah.
started. We think it would be a good idea for us to like introduce ourselves, like maybe just like name where we're living and like whether we're already living outside the States or kind of just thinking about it. I forced my sister Raven to be here because I want her to leave the States. So, Ravy, you can just say you're here because of me, okay? So let's start. Who wants to go first? I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
should we start?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You can
Do you
go.
want to? Okay, I can go. Hey, I'm Bree. It says Brianna, but I go by Bree, and I am originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but for the last like 5 or 6 years before I moved to Paris, I was living in Texas, and I actually ended up in Paris because I quit my job because I was just not feeling fulfilled from it. And I was traveling around a bunch, and 2 years into traveling, I met the guy that I married, and he's a Frenchman. And so I moved to Paris. And then whenever I quit my job, I was already looking for a place to move. I wasn't necessarily thinking about moving out of the country. I was actually thinking of moving to like Arizona or something. But then I realized how hot it was, and I was like, I can't do this. But yeah, it's been going pretty well so far. I think that I don't know how long I'll be in France, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, Bree.
Love that. You.
So I am Courtney. I have been out of this. Well, I'm from Fresno, California. I've actually been out of the state since 2012, so like 14 years. Time really flies when you're not counting, I guess. I was living in Istanbul, Turkey for 13 of those years, and
What?
I mean, not randomly, but decided last year that it was time for me to go. So I've called the last year kind of my looking for my home time. So I was considering Italy. I spent some time there and then went back to Istanbul to kind of like figure myself out and plans to move to Greece. I'm still planning on settling in Greece, and I feel like the place I'll be moving next will be the place I settle. And I'm just in Albania as a layover. I call it my waiting room, but it's been a good one so far. So, yeah, that's me. Who wants to go next? Gabrielle, Gabby, you can go next. Since you're on the camera, girl, you're
Uh,
ready.
my name is Gabby. My parents named me Gabrielle, spelled Gabriel. I am the daughter of Maxine, who is the daughter of Christine. My family is from Jamaica. I am first generation American. I was born in New York and I was raised in Georgia. And then I went back to New York for college because I hated Georgia. Um, I always felt like I didn't belong in America. New York was like my safe space because everybody was just so unique and minded their business. And I love that. Um, and for a long time, I looked for somewhere else, but I couldn't really find it. And I always thought that I was going to end up leaving the country, but with someone. And last year, um, after surviving a hurricane, I realized that I was by myself for the first time ever. I had no family around me. I had like one friend that I met during like working seasonal work with the YMCA for 3 years. And I realized that I could like totally survive by myself and I didn't need to wait for anyone anymore. And if anything, that was holding me back from like my joy and my peace and my freedom. So I started doing really heavy research into where I was going to go next. And I honestly thought it was going to be Iceland because I really wanted to go back to school for free. And then one day on TikTok, one of the girlies was like, yeah, I'm moving to Iceland with my man. Oh, sorry, not Iceland, Albania with my man. And she was like, it's the only country you can stay visa free for a year for Americans. And I heard visa free and I said, okay, great. And so I started looking into Albania. And to answer your question, Nancy, it's actually the temperature here is actually really great for 300. And something days out of the year, it only snows like during the winter, and it doesn't snow for the rest of Albania only in the mountains. So when people want to experience like winter wonderland, they go to the mountains. But other than that, the weather here is like literally great year round, which really appealed to me after living in Colorado and living in upstate New York and dealing with all that snow and negative-degree weather. Um, and then I'm just like, I get to live on the beach. I get to live in an apartment that I can afford that's not taking up all of my energy. I really wanted the freedom to work my own hours. I literally came here with no job. I was just like, yeah, it's just gonna find me. And my sister hired me literally a week before I came here to work for her. And I was just like, oh, okay, perfect. So it's like once I started letting go of all of the things that didn't serve me, it opened doors for new opportunity. And I don't know if this is my forever place. I've only been here for a little over a month. I'm willing to go wherever my person decides that we go. My person doesn't exist yet, but that's okay. So I'm here for the
You
year.
exist.
And I've met beautiful Courtney, who literally gets me outside, and I've met Bree, and I've met a lot of people, and it's going great, and I don't have any regrets. And I'm looking forward to traveling to other places in Europe and Asia and Africa, and yeah, it's great. I have no complaints. I'm so happy.
Yay, we love to have you.
Wait, and your person does exist. You just haven't met yet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that part.
Okay, Nancy, you can go next. And of
Hi.
course, okay, go on. Sorry. Hmm?
No, 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 no. I was just saying hi. Like,
Oh, I was just gonna say like if you only feel comfortable saying your name and where you're living, and if you want to leave or you're not sure, that's okay as well. Okay. So Nancy,
awesome.
you can go next.
Hi, I'm Nancy. I started my leaving the U.S. escapade after the 2016 election. So 2016, I started spending time in Panama. And I became a Panamanian resident like during COVID because like I was just kind of like, we have a really good relationship with them with the U.S. passport. You can kind of be there for like 180 days or something with no visa or anything. So I was just doing that because I had meetings in LA, meetings in New York. So I was always constantly leaving. So I never had the issue. COVID basically taught me that you need to get your ducks in a row because you could be stuck someplace for who knows how long. So I became a resident then, and that was great. And then after COVID, I realized that I'm not retired yet, and it's really slow. The whole country's like 4 million people. It wasn't like as dynamic enough for me. So I started spending time like in a bunch of other cities. I was going to like Istanbul and Cairo and London and Bangkok and Bali and basically whoever would take me, right? With during that period of time. And so I was like, okay, this feels more like the life I want to live. And so I'm going to be setting up a base in Cairo for like a year and a half, but pretty much using that to move around. And ideally, Southeast Asia is where I'd like to be. It's just 13 hours away, so it's kind of hard with commitments. Mostly in the US on the East Coast right now, but if I could shift that, I would prefer to be living in Kuala Lumpur. Like I love Southeast Asia. I love hot, humid weather. That really makes me happy, and I love the quality of life. And yeah, so but I also love everything. So it's like I said, London once a year, I want to be in New York, I want to be everywhere. So yeah, as of right now, Cairo works out for me really well. It's so central to a lot of places, Nairobi and Cape Town and most of Europe. And yeah,
You're
so that's kind
everywhere,
of
girl.
yeah. Where I want to be. I want to be everywhere and stay everywhere, and just continue to have a good quality of life, like wherever I am.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, thank you for sharing. Who's next? You choose.
I'm
Um,
next.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
next.
okay,
okay.
okay.
I'm just
Hello.
I'm just jumping in because I'm still sleeping, but
Okay.
I'm not. I'm sleeping, but I'm not asleep. Um, so my name is Cottrell. I know it's under SK, but I go by Cottrell.
Okay, hi.
I am not well traveled as you ladies are. I am not on social media, but my sister Shawnee invited me. She met um,
Me.
the young lady that, yep.
Fun. Thank
And
you.
she told me she told me to jump on, and so far I'm just so glad just to even hear the little bit that I've heard, because she knows that I've always been interested in moving out of the country since I got divorced back in, well, my first divorce back in 2008. But we're originally from South Florida, and I've always said that I wanted to move out of the country, and my first love was Australia.
Mm.
And then I realized, man, it's like Fort Knox to get in there. So I was like, let me try to look at something else. But it's still on the list. But yeah, I always wanted to move somewhere where there's good weather. I don't have to learn another language. Um, Having our people be there is important, but it's not, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
It's not
know,
the only
I will
thing.
build my community wherever I am.
Hmm.
So it's okay. But I do have a disabled child, so that is important to me. But
Hmm.
he's older now, so he's not in school. But having, making sure that he has his resources and things like that. So that is important. So I still have to do a certain amount of research. My son does he still gets child support for the duration of his life. So I have to make sure that we still have, those connections with the US.
Hmm.
So it's not, I can't just, fly by the seat of my pants like I would like to do,
Yeah.
at this stage of my life. But so, like I said, I do have to do a certain amount of research. Wherever I'm gonna go.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just kind of want to see what's out there and listen to you ladies, and hop around a little bit. We just came back from our little mini European tour. We went to um Barcelona. We went to what's the other one in Spain? I can
Mallorca?
Madrid.
Oh,
Madrid.
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 Hmm.
Yeah, Madrid. We went to Paris, and then we went to England, and we literally just got back a few days ago. So I just kind of wanted to show people on our trip as well that just because you have wheels, a set of wheels, you can still do these things.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people kept saying, like, oh my gosh, you guys travel? And I'm like, yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's a little more difficult and it takes a little bit more planning, but these things are still possible. So and yeah, so I wanted to let my sister know that, or she's always telling me, yeah, you're gonna have to do these things. And yeah, we did go to Turkey as well, a couple months ago. So eventually that will be our life.
Yeah.
So
It is.
and he and I will be together in another country. And she's always like, you got to expose him to these new foods, get a stomach ready, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yep, all of that. So we're ready. We're ready for this journey. And I'm so happy to meet you ladies and to hear all your different stories. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy you had a good Europe trip, by the way, with your
Mm.
son. It is nice. Shawnee's right about getting him used to like certain foods and things like that. So that's awesome. Who would like to be next? Let's do
Yes, I'll go
Shawnee.
next. It's fine. After her.
Hello.
I'm Shawnee. I'm the baby sister. And yes, we are from South Florida. We do now live in Dallas. And dang, what were we supposed to say?
Just
Um,
where you're living and or where you're from, and then if you live abroad or if you're just thinking about it or if you have
okay, yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah. I don't live abroad, unfortunately. I live in funky America. But I did live in Istanbul for about 10-ish months until they told me I had to leave. I was just coming for a little vacation. I only had my carry-on, and then they told me I can't come back. So I've been stuck. I was stuck here ever since. I did go back and like get my belongings because everything was still there. My passport, I mean, not my passport, my birth certificate, everything was still there.
Yeah.
So I just came back, got my things, and just started over in America. But I do want to obviously eventually find a place to settle. Portugal was on my list because I had wanted to start a coffee company.
Crazy. Yeah, that
It's not
I seen your
crazy.
face. That's exciting, but no. I realize I want a soft life, and that's not soft. I don't need to do any of that. I don't want to do nothing. Like I just to do
Amen.
nothing. So like just talking to my therapist, I was just like, she was like, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to live abroad, and I want to wake up in a bikini and do nothing. Like I
Mm,
just want to do nothing." And so I'm
I
just
feel
trying to
you.
figure that out. Like I'm
yes.
back I'm back in school. So I'm trying to finish a degree that I started at 18 and it's just hard, but I'm trying to get a degree because I feel like it'll just be easier for me to try to land a job in another country if you have a degree. So I'm just trying to do that and be able to find a place that feels like home. But it's crazy because I feel like I don't know about y'all, but I feel like people who travel a lot, everywhere you go can feel like home. Every time I go somewhere,
Yes.
I'm just like, I could live here. So I'm just like, it's hard, but I have traveled a bit. I love traveling. If it doesn't take me at least 10 hours to get there on a plane, I don't want to go. Um, so I just love being really, really far away. But Malaysia has been on my list to live because I did visit there and it was beautiful. I mean, it was a melting pot. I didn't
Yes.
feel out of sort. They didn't make me feel anyway. Like I didn't feel like they were pointing, staring, or anything like that. Everyone just made me feel super welcomed.
Mhm.
Um, like I said, Portugal, of course. Thailand was great. I hear great things about Vietnam and how you just feel super just at peace and things like that. I do have a trip planned to Tokyo in August.
Mm.
And I'm just like excited to just see all the things, feel all the things. Like I love Asia. Like Asia has just always felt pretty cool. But I mean, I know that there's gonna be their politics everywhere. So it's just like, where can I go where the politics aren't crazy?
Hmm.
That's just my biggest thing. So I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm only 33, I'm still a hot mama, but I'm
Yeah.
not looking for like a partner. Like I
Hmm.
feel like that. I mean, I know I'm young, but I feel like for me that's and I'm just really trying to live a life of singleness and I want to do whatever. I don't want children or anything like that. So I don't know, like especially like seeing Courtney when she just be out. I'm like, she don't got no baby on her side. She just be out, and I'm like, yes, ma'am. Like, live your life. Like, I just love seeing like us outside, living happy, doing our thing. Like, even if you do desire children or like family, like, but you're not allowing it to stop you. Like, that
Yeah.
is what I really love seeing us do because I don't want that to ever be a hindrance for us. And I don't want it to be a hindrance for me, even though I am still technically young. But I'm just excited to be in the room with y'all and hearing all of your experiences. And I'm very jealous that you guys are over there and I'm over here. I do want to say that. I
Well,
am
now that
very,
I'm
very
here, you're always welcome. So,
yes. Like when I seen y'all outside, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna be outside tomorrow." But I'm mad y'all outside. I was like, "I'm inside over here watching TV, just drinking ginger ale." I'm like, "Oh, this is ghetto," but okay. I have fun, y'all. Have fun. But
we
thank you
will.
guys for having
Yeah.
me.
And I do
Awesome.
just want to say one thing. I was telling Bree earlier because last night we were with a big group of people, and there's a
Hmm.
woman here, and she actually has two kids, moved here with her two kids, and she is living her best life, being outside. And she's like, "Look, I have my kids. They're not my entire life. I still have my
Yeah,
own life, and like they're thriving here. She's thriving, they're thriving. So like, there are a lot of us who don't want kids, maybe there are some of us who want kids, but there are people who have kids. And like for
hmm,
us, especially black women, I want us to know that like we can live this life with in any circumstances, any
right.
situation. With kids, divorce. I'm divorced. I got divorced a year ago and didn't know if I would be able to like live as
Hmm.
But I am, so
Period.
yeah.
Period.
What?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that yes, I have friends who are doing it with kids as well. It's just a commitment to the lifestyle, right? Like I'm child free. I knew as a child that I never wanted to be in that world of
Mm.
having children. I tell my
Right.
parents, you guys did too good a job. I could not live up to that, so I'm fine, with my choice in life. I'm 46. I'm getting divorced
Mm.
soonish, hopefully. So yeah, and I've been living this life for a while, and it's just about the choice that you make to commit to it, you know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
Mhm.
make you have the vision, just live it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Okay, Dana, Bana, you're next.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. My name is Dana, and I am currently living in the Central Valley. Um,
California.
yeah. Yes. Fortunately and unfortunately, I would like to move at some point. I have two kids. Well, one is going to be 19 on Monday, so she's not so much a kid, but if I leave the country, she'll be coming with me. But yeah, I'm also a therapist, working towards my license right now. So I'm kind of grounded here until I get licensed. Uh, I would like to move. I'm not sure of where. I think when I think about it, it's like Costa Rica, Panama, but it's because we also have a cousin in Panama too. I
Oh,
think she's still there, right, Courtney?
Who?
Sherry,
I don't know. Who?
Sherry,
Oh, I
or
didn't know
she?
that.
No, it's Sherry.
Ah,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And so when I think about moving, I'm like, where is, somebody who's close living, like
Mm.
Courtney? I'm like, maybe Albania now.
Yes.
So I don't know. I think it's a safety thing and not knowing where to go. But I'm open and I'm just hoping to gain some like inspiration and motivation and kind of learn how I can make this happen with two kids
Mm-hmm.
and where I'm currently at. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet
Yes, you
you.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. Last Raven, my little sister who I drag around with me.
Hi, I'm Raven, and I'm currently living in California, and I don't know what I want to do.
That's okay.
And
Do you
that's
think,
it.
yeah, do you think that you might want to move with me one day since I keep trying to pressure you?
Maybe.
Maybe, yes. I'm really proud of Raven. She has come to see me twice in Istanbul, and I just decided to move here a month ago and was like, Raven, I'm in Albania. And she's like, okay, I'm booking my flight. So she's going to come visit me, aren't you?
Yes, in
Yes.
October.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes, I'm excited. Do you think like you traveling to see different places is like opening your eyes to possibly thinking you could live outside the States or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Well, welcome, Raven. I love you.
Love you.
We also don't really, I know we talk like once a month, don't we, Raven? On the phone.
Yes.
Yeah, our family is, yeah, we're not video call people. Anyways,
What's
let's
the
see.
age difference? What's the
I
age?
am 10, no, I'm 10 years older than her.
Okay.
Yeah, 9 years. How old are you, even 30? No,
I'm 29.
29. I'm 8 years older than her. But I've been,
Okay.
I left the States when, no, I left home when she was like 13. So
Oh,
as we've become adults, we've been like, let's say, building our sisterhood because we didn't really grow up together since I'm so much older than her. So
yeah.
like we've actually grown a lot closer since I've been gone. Her coming here and me when I go home, making sure we get time together. So yeah, I'm so proud.
It'll get better. That's how Shawnee and I are. I mean,
Yeah.
well, it 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 changed because she came to live with me.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the mother daughter kind of relationship, and then once I had to remove her from my literal areola, tits, all of that, then we can build like a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes she still tries to latch back on, and I'm just like, no, 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 we're friends now. Remember, sister, right, sister? you know
yuck.
But no, we're like 14 years apart, so I do get that. By the
Yeah.
time I was married the first time, she
Yeah.
was like 7. So
Yeah.
I was married with a child, so and she became
Yeah.
an auntie, so it
Yep,
is it's it
auntie.
is it is a little different, but once you get older and you're able to, because you're in different stages. She is still trying to figure it out, but
Hmm.
you're being a good example for her,
Hmm.
and let her take her time to find her footing, and
Yeah.
you know just give
Yeah.
her give her that moment and show her that grace. That's what
Yeah.
we're all here for, to
Yes,
show each other
exactly.
grace.
Yep. That's all. Okay. What should we move into? We had a topic for today.
Yeah, it was really talking about how to feel comfortable in a new place when literally no one looks like you. Maybe you don't understand the cultural norms or even speak the language. Because one of the first conversations that I had with Courtney, she asked me if I met any black women since I moved to Paris. And I had to think about it. And I didn't realize that the answer was no. I met one because like the black woman that I would tend to meet would be like maybe from the Caribbean or something. Like they were all fluent in French. There was no one who was coming in as more of a foreigner, because I would say like it could still be considered a foreigner, but they're speaking French. But trying to create relationships in a place where you don't know anyone and feeling like there's some kind of barrier between you and the other people, and how to not kind of get lost and going through
Yeah.
it. And I think everyone has like their own ways of dealing with it. Like I think it'd be interesting to hear if anyone else has had similar experiences for the people who have spent some time abroad. But for me, I know I could see myself, I was avoiding certain situations because I feel like I couldn't share my full personality, because I couldn't do it in a way that they would understand, because I would even have to change the way I speak English so that they could understand my English. So it was like it got,
Hesitancy or something.
yeah,
Hesitancy to be your full self or
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I got less funny.
That's the worst.
And I'm like, you guys, I'm so funny.
You don't understand, but literally you don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would say like specifically for me, so in Paris, a lot of people do speak English, which is nice, but it's not necessarily like the best English. It's more of like a bare minimum. Like you can do what you need to do to have a conversation with somebody, but there's also a lot of people who don't really speak English at all. Like they learned it in school, but because they never use it, they don't really speak English. And then there's the people who don't speak anything at all. Like you can only speak French. So there's different types of people that I'm dealing with because I married a Frenchman, and luckily I get exposed to a lot of people. Like, of course I had to make my own friends and things, but it was like I already had people that I
Yeah.
could reach out
Yes.
to, and that was really comforting. But yeah, it was like I would just hold myself back from saying certain things or doing certain things as a fear of not being able to communicate, or as a fear of like failing at communication. And that's when I realized that I didn't realize that I had such a fear of failing.
Yeah. Yeah. Or being seen as like people noticing that you don't belong there, kind of.
Yeah, because everyone thinks I'm French. So
Yes.
when I'm just walking down the street, everyone thinks I'm French. It's one of the reasons that I moved there. And then I open my mouth and they're like, "Where are you from?" Like it's gotten a bit better now after a year.
Yeah.
But for the longest, I didn't want to let people know that I wasn't from there. There was like some kind of pride thing,
Hmm.
which I don't know where that came from. Because I'm not French. I don't speak French. But because they thought I was French, I was just trying to go along with it so hard.
I would just do sign language, you know.
I would do a lot of like mumbles because the French has a lot of mumbling. So I could get really far in conversations sometimes at the beginning with not saying anything at all, and people thought I was French.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Croissant, croissant, no, no, no.
That's good that you were able to fly by, because I was married to somebody that spoke French for 13 years and I could not fly by. So my mother-in-law did not speak English, and she would just walk around the house just talking, and I would just be like, yeah, I'll just leave the room and leave her in there talking. So I was, you're good that you can even fake it. Cause yeah, and I when I was in Paris, I just didn't even talk. And I talk a lot. So I was very quiet. I was very quiet, and I understand about what you mean. Like they're not going to be able to get your banter. Like I consider myself to be a very funny person as well, and I said to myself, if I get married again, I don't think I can marry outside of my culture because they're not. I love color purple. If you can't get that, I say, like they don't know me either, or Hoppo is the horse saddled yet. Like if I say little things from the color purple, or I say things like I love Greece, and like if I say little things like I start just busting out in a song from Greece and you don't understand what I'm saying, like I don't want to have to water myself down. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to do that again. I've been married twice.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about those little things. And those little things, they may be little to someone else, but those things bring me joy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I say little crazy things all the time. And I'm like, man, that's a waste. Like I just did something so petty to my first husband and it went right over his head. Why? Because his first language is French. He didn't even get it. I was trying to be petty, but he didn't even get it.
Listen,
And
my
I'm like,
husband,
that's
my
such a
husband,
waste. I need
no,
somebody that's gonna be able to get that. So
yeah, and my husband's
I
British.
get what you're saying. I'm sorry, Nancy. Go
No,
ahead.
I totally get what you're saying, but like my husband's British, and like, girl, even the English is not the English, okay? So just know that like it's not even the language. It is it culture is such a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
But for me, I would it's not a culture thing or a race thing or whatever. I would just prefer to marry someone who's just culturally sensitive and aware. I think we live in times where there's so much bias happening that people can only see their pain in a lot of ways in a weird way, and so empathy is really important. Like I may not
Mhm.
understand like why you call that a jumper, but I get that you call it a jumper and I
Yeah.
respect that. You know, and I don't need
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
the petty lines, girl, they don't get them. They just
Yeah.
get lost in the sauce.
Yes. It's
Makes sense.
hilarious. It's hilarious that you mentioned Greece because my ex-husband would always like joke and say, no one can come into your family unless their favorite movie is Grease and they know all the songs. And like because
Amen. Amen. I play the soundtrack. Like
yes.
I need you to sing along. Not Grease 2, but
I
the
know, yeah,
first
not
one.
Grease 2, not Grease 2.
Exactly.
Like,
Like, come with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, as Bree was saying, like, well, I'm not going to say it's not a luck thing, but like she is living in a place where she can blend in. And so I moved
mm,
to Istanbul, like, when I was 22, 23 years old, 2012. And I still stand out like a sore thumb. I'm 6 foot tall, black, braids down to my butt. But I mean, so I was always feeling like the other one, like an outsider. And I realized in most places that I travel to, I feel that way, but in Istanbul specifically, the people make you feel like you don't belong
Yes,
mm,
necessarily.
ma'am. I felt that from the time I stepped in the
Yes,
airport. It
yes,
was
yes.
so thick. I
Yeah.
told Sani, I'm not sure how she lived there,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt that I was like, I had to kind of like, I had two separate instances because I felt it without the wheelchair and
Mm-hmm.
with the wheelchair because I went out without my son and then I went with my son,
Mm-hmm.
like, went out. But as
mm,
soon as we got in the airport, I'm like, it was so apparent. It wasn't like it was blatant.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it wasn't one day, one moment. It was like people licking out their tongues, people laughing, people
Mm-hmm.
staring, people pointing. And I was like, so her friend's mom asked me, she's like, oh, come live here. Oh, it's cheap. I can help you. I can, hook you up with a job. I was like, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
I
I
don't want to stay somewhere where I feel from the time I get here unwelcome.
yeah.
I don't care what the financial situation is.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, I can't speak for someone else.
Yeah.
They may be able to look past the stuff. And the place was beautiful. Like her
Mm-hmm.
daughter was a great host and took me to see some beautiful sightings. I bought some great spices. I mean, it was very nice,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But the stares and the points, like,
Mm-hmm.
who, I can't deal with that every day. Not that I can't deal with it. Let me rephrase that. I won't deal with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I'm gonna move somewhere and I want to find my peace,
Mm-hmm.
that's not peaceful for me.
Nope. And that's the
It's
culture. It's not just, it's not just because you are black or because
Yeah.
your son is using a wheelchair. They do that with each other. It's
Mhm.
very like, they want everyone to dress the same, look like them, have the same beliefs. Like, so even if you're a Turkish person and you're a little bit overweight, or you have, some kind of mental disabilities, or you're just
Mhm.
different in general, that's how it is. But for us,
Okay.
as you're saying, we don't have to deal with it. So yeah. Nancy, what were you saying? Sorry.
I was gonna say Turkey. Yeah, I was gonna say it's more Turkish culture.
Yeah.
That's more conformative than necessarily. It's not necessarily about. I never felt it was a racial thing, right? Because my
Mhm.
mother-in-law is like, she's an Egyptian. Like she, like she's veiled, and
Mhm.
she has a horrible time every time she goes. Like people are rude to her. There's
Mhm.
a very anti-Arab situation there. There again, I have a great time. I enjoy Turkish people. I have a great time, but I saw how hard it was for her at times, and I saw how hard it was for my husband's cousin. They because she's veiled as well, and they had an issue. The other cousin is not. She had a great time. So again, as long as you can conform to whatever the majority is doing, like you're all in, you know.
Yeah.
Um, Bryn, I wanted to say my only other friend in Paris from the U.S. is like this black girl called Brynna. And you haven't run into her? She's
No, I
married to
have not.
a man. She's been there for like a decade.
No, I
Oh,
haven't met
Lincoln.
her. Yeah,
Oh
but
no, I have to connect you guys.
yeah.
She's awesome. Yeah, but she actually does speak fluent French. So again, like the circles like can be a bit different, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, I would love that. I would hope if I was by the time I'm there a decade, I will also be fluent in French. I hope. And like just to touch on like what I was saying before, like I feel a lot more comfortable now, and I think it was a lot within myself that I had to learn moving to a new country because it wasn't even like if you move to a new city in the same country, you have to make new friends and find your new spots and all of these things, but there was like just this extra level, and I had to accept being misunderstood and just push through with it and realize that, oh, like I have this French friend, she's adorable. Like everything about her is adorable. Like the way she laughs,
Mm.
like she's just adorable, right?
Mhm.
And she speaks English, but her English is not the best. But we get along, we get it. We take time to explain things and like to look things up, and I
Mhm.
think it just takes patience
Yeah.
and being okay with feeling like sometimes, oh, I'm not talking as eloquently as I know that I'm thinking,
Mhm.
but still feeling like you can create connection with people.
Yeah.
And I think that's really
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
I mean, before I moved to Istanbul, I was a really shy child, I think, up until I was like 22. And I just have this, like my personal motto is like fake it till you make it. So like even if you're not feeling your greatest or the most confident, whatever, just like going up to someone and saying like, hi, I'm known for that now. Like I never used to go out of my way to say hi to anyone. I would like hide behind, people. But now it's like, hi, what's your name? Like, let's be friends. So in Istanbul, I created a Black women's group because our experience when we live abroad is also quite different from others, and it doesn't have to be negative experiences. It could just be like, we're unable to like go to a hair salon easily, like as easily as friends who don't have hair like ours, or like we won't be able to find makeup. So I think it also is nice to have certain communities where you live for people like us. So, people like us, the queens. That's what I meant.
Can I jump
Period.
in?
Yes.
Hmm. Um, so with my experience, I'm like you, Courtney, where I'll say hi to people, and um, because I grew up in the South where it was really diverse, I got really good at code switching. I wasn't like a friend to like one group of people. It was like there were the Mexicans and there were the white people and there were the Asian people and there were my black people and then from wherever. So I would just kind of jump from group to group. So I got really good at kind of what's that lizard? The
Chameleon.
chameleon? Yeah,
Million.
I got really good at like being with each group and just kind of blending in. And so when I started traveling, um, I would just do that too. Like when I went to Mexico, I was just like, well, I'm Mexican now, you know, and I would just go up to them. I'll have my Google Translate out and I'll just start talking to them. I didn't even go and ask, oh, do you speak English? I'll just be ready with the Google Translate. And I got really good at pronouncing like
Oh.
the words and everything. And I just did that a lot. And then when I started working with the YMCA, I did find myself always the one Black person in the room, the one Black person at work. And before that, I actually worked by myself a lot because I was a nanny. And I think because I got used to being by myself and laughing with myself and joking with myself and talking to myself, um, by the time I got into that environment, I got really comfortable with making other people uncomfortable. So, like, instead of like going and trying to blend in, I would just like make my jokes. I say all the time, all my life I had to fight. And they don't know what I'm talking about, but
Amen. Amen.
but and then I also have kind of a bad habit of making white people uncomfortable. Like I'll be like, okay, high five to my boss, and he'll high five me, and it will be really hard. And I'm like, damn, are you channeling your ancestors? Why'd you have to hit me so hard? I do that quite a lot. And I noticed that because I was so open to joke with them like that, they got really comfortable with me. And then if they didn't understand something, instead of pretending, they'd be like, what's that from? Or whatever, whatever. But I was really careful with not being like a teacher, like if you're interested, go figure it out. But I noticed that because I was so used to like being on my own, once I like put myself in these new environments where I was by myself, I didn't have like my community, I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna make you comfortable. I'm not gonna make this environment the most comfortable for you when I'm uncomfortable. I'm just gonna make everybody uncomfortable. We're gonna be uncomfortable together. Yeah. That's how I figured it. And so when I came out here, when I was like, okay, I'm really gonna start traveling the world, I'm just like, one, you gotta be polite. This is not my country. I'm gonna say hi, but I know what you're talking about. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I forgot your name because I'm looking at SK. Um,
Control.
Control.
Yeah, control.
Petra. Like when I got to Barcelona, I got a ticket to Barcelona, and I got transferred from there to Albania. So I was only there for like a couple of hours in the airport. There was this woman and her daughter and her husband behind me while I was waiting to put my suitcases up, and she just started having a whole conversation about how fat I was. Just a whole conversation. She was speaking in whatever language they speak in Barcelona.
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yes, yes, yes. She was speaking Spanish, but she was using the word fat. So I'm like, is there another word in Spanish that means fat? I don't know. She was just like, yeah,
Gato.
fat.
Gato. But why are you
Yeah,
not
she was
saying
just
it?
saying fat. She was like, fat,
Mhm.
fat. And then her husband was like, yeah, 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 fat. And then her daughter was like, her daughter was, it was so funny to me though, because her daughter was trying to like, she was trying to like rally for me. She was like, oh no,
Mm.
not so fat. I was like, yeah, yeah,
My
do you
God.
know she's fat? But it was so
God.
funny because in that situation, it was either I was gonna turn around and be like, "Oh, how dare you guys call me fat?" But I am fat. It was so funny to me. I was trying not to laugh, but I grew up with Jamaicans, so
Okay.
my skin is very, very, very thick. Okay, first people that told me I was fat was my family, was my parents. So I just thought it was so funny, but it's the same thing where like immediately I was like, oh, okay, if I were to stay in Spain, and I've heard about it a lot, I've heard a lot of Black travelers, especially women who talk about it, they would not be afraid to point and be like, oh, fat girl, fat girl. And even though I can laugh about it and be okay in my own skin, I'm also not gonna live in a country where people are pointing at me
Yeah.
and laughing. Because bitch, don't. I'm sorry because you
It's
put on
it's
you
okay.
blank that part out. Um, like Don't do me, because I'll do you back.
Hmm.
Snaps.
You know.
I
But yeah,
agree.
that's been my experience. Just make other people uncomfortable so that you could be comfortable.
Right, because nobody puts baby in a corner.
Yep,
Exactly.
exactly, girl. Look at
Exactly.
this video. Yes,
Exactly.
yes. We need to have a movie night, I think.
Absolutely. Can I
Yes.
chime in for one moment? Just
What?
one moment. Can I chime in for one moment?
Of course.
But in the same the same breath, the only experience that I had that was probably very traumatizing was my first ever country that I went to was in Indonesia.
Mm.
Um I was with a group of white people on a mission trip. That was my first ever experience leaving the country. And they and actually I the people that I met, like that I was doing the work with, like the Indonesians that I was doing the work with, I never had to like dim my light of who I was. Like even with the language barrier, because I dance. So it was like that's how I interacted with like the kids and stuff. So I was working at a school. So that's how I interacted with them. And that's how we connected because I feel like, that's a universal language. Everybody knows that. So I was able to be myself with them in that space. So I really thought that I was going to have a great time until I was on the street. I had locks at the time. So they assumed I was a monster. They were pointing, and like the kids at first, like some of the kids were crying, like they would not come to school while I was there, crying, screaming. And it's like I was thinking, like, if we was in the States, baby, your parents would be like, you gonna sit down and you gonna shut up, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go to school. But the other people, like the other parents, they were just like, no, we're gonna just take our kid home. Like, I'm assuming that's what they said. I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't understand. But they took their kids home. But it's like even on the street, people are pointing from across the street, pointing and laughing. And it made me feel terrible. But then in other instances, I'm some celebrity. Do I know Obama? Do I know Beyonce? Like,
Yes.
I'm like, yep, that's my cousin, that's my uncle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in so many pictures in everybody's phone. I mean, it was overwhelming. And it was like the people that I was with were white. There was one other person that was on my in my little squad, and she was Venezuelan. But it was very hard to like deal with, and I didn't think that I would ever want to like continue traveling after that.
Mm.
But because of the person that I am, it wasn't because of my parents or anything. Thankfully, Nancy, you had great parents that, did good, and that's why you didn't want to have kids. But I didn't. I had the opposite. That's why I don't want to have kids. But I built the confidence within myself to where I'm just like, whatever, I don't care what you're saying. I know that I'm this person and I'm beautiful and I'm all that. And so I was able to push through, and it made me continue to like get out there and try and whatever. So that's why, the next country was Malaysia. It was like that is what
Mm.
made my eyes open. I'm like, they're not all bad. Okay, this is great. And then it was just like, I went from Malaysia and I went to Thailand. And then even when I got to Istanbul, like it was different because Courtney, I don't know if you dealt with this, but when I would get into taxis, they immediately assumed that I was African. And
Mm.
they, the stereotype over there of the
I know.
Africans, they doing things for taxi rides. And I immediately had to tell them, I said, baby, I got money, okay? I don't need to do nothing for this taxi ride.
Mm-hmm.
I have your little lira. Take your little lira, okay? Gone on. But it's like that, even that, it's just like, it's so hard. It's so many stereotypes everywhere that you go, just as a Black woman, that we have to go and
Mm-hmm.
break barriers. And it's like, why do we have to always be the ones to be on the front line
Mhm.
everywhere? And it's like, again, I just want to be funny. I just want to be funny. I want to go out here. I want to be cute and I want to be funny. Why can't I be cute and funny? Why I gotta always be out here and be at war? I don't want to
Mhm.
be at war. So it's like again, I just want to go somewhere and just and relax and just
Yeah.
relax. And so it is nice to go somewhere and just be yourself. So I don't feel like I'm dimming my light. I don't ever stop being funny.
Yeah.
I don't care if you get it or not. You don't gotta get it. I'm laughing. You don't have to laugh. Like Gabby said, I don't know if you said you go by Gabby. I'm not really sure, but that's your name now. Like Gabby said, I'm gonna be funny. You gonna be uncomfortable. That's just what it is in the states or out of the states. We're laughing either at you or with you. Either you're gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. So I absolutely agree, and I'm glad that y'all are on the same page. I'm glad Gabby on the same page. Gabby, we're gonna have to connect after because I like your style. I like your style.
Isn't
When
she
you
cute?
said, "Are you channeling your your ancestors?" Because that's me. It's like they always
Mhm.
channel their ancestors. I don't. Okay,
Yes.
that's another topic. But I feel you. I feel you on that. I absolutely feel you on that. But yeah, I feel like we should never have to go somewhere and dim our lights wherever we
Yeah.
are. Like I always tell anybody, any younger girl, like take up space wherever you're at in every country, in every
Mhm.
lifetime. Be
Yes.
black,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
extra black,
Yes,
and
Mm-hmm.
extra
extra, extra
black
black.
on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not
Because we
extra
just want
black,
to be
extra
girls at the end of
country.
the day. We're just girls. Let us be
I'm just
girls.
a girl.
Yes.
Just
I'm
the
just
girl.
That is so it. And people will be like, well, why do you enjoy certain places? And I'm like, because I'm myself wherever I go. And so the
yeah,
environments just bring different things to me, you know? So I just
yeah.
need, I may need like more peace, right? Like I may need more of a like Cairo is just a very vibrant city. It reminds me a lot of Istanbul, but like no one takes care of anything, like Istanbul, they're constantly working on a building, everything is being kept up. Cairo, they're just letting it fall apart, but it falls apart beautifully and I love it. And so it's like you go to the places that like activate you, and like allow you to feel like that lightness, that happidness, so that you can just be funny.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
You
Well,
guys.
I know we were talking about a lot of negative things. I just wanted to shine a little bit of light on Paris. Although me and my son, we went to a cafe, and the people in this little restaurant, they could not speak English, but there was a waiter there that was actually from Tunisia,
Mm.
and another one there from Morocco. And when I say they were just a lovely, lovely part of our trip, but the guy from Tunisia, who was not our waiter, decided he was going to feed my son.
Mm.
Oh.
I was like, okay. And I was just like, I take things like that as like my little God winks. And I
Mhm.
just say, that lets me know that God is everywhere. He can use anyone. It doesn't matter what your religion is. Even when we were in Turkey, we are Christians, but honey, when my son would hear that prayer come across, that that annoying prayer that would come across that speaker, that was broadcasted, honey, he will get out the bed and get on his knees. I was like, okay, so I guess you
No.
Muslim for this whole time we in Turkey. So he connected with I'm like, I almost got him a little carpet to come home with because I'm like, honey, he was connecting. Do you hear me? I'm gonna turn on the camera real quick. I still got on my night clothes. I noticed on YouTube. I'm gonna get y'all just because honey, he just got his face all in the camera. He want to see y'all ladies.
I
Oh,
love it.
hello. Oh, I
Hello.
like the beard. I like your beard braid.
Yeah, and that's
Oh.
that's what my sister said. She said you've been growing this beard for something, honey. And I was like, cause he Muslim, honey, and I guess deep down in his heart he Muslim. Say hey to the ladies. You know you love the ladies.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, like, he got really quiet. He got really interested. He said, "Hey."
All
What's his
righty. That's
What's his
enough of that
name?
now.
Oh.
But
What's your son's name?
but yes. So but that guy stood there the entire meal and he told me, no, you eat. You
Oh.
enjoy your glass of wine. He fed my son, and I travel with the traveling blender, so he blended the second half of the meal. He did it himself because he watched what I did the first half.
Mm.
and he fed him the second half, and this joker sat there and let him do it. Now he give me a hard time. He be trying to push the table and all kind. He sat there and let the man tuck the little napkin in his shirt, and he sat there and ate like the king that he was that day. And that was the first break that I had the entire trip. We were gone for a little bit over 2 weeks on our little tour, and that was the first meal I got a chance to just sit there
Aw.
and enjoy a hot meal.
Yeah, nice.
So, so yes, even though there's a language barrier, you still have people who are nice and kind,
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter. Like I
yeah,
said, language, religion, whatever, people still have kind hearts. And so yeah, I just wanted to shine a little light. Little light on
definitely. Yeah.
little light on your hometown, Brianna. So
That's amazing. Actually, that kind of kindness is something I experience every day here in Albania. Like coming from a place in it, like I had a nice life in Istanbul. I had a really good network. I stayed in my own. I created my own world basically. So I had a good life, but I didn't feel fulfilled. And dealing with the people, just it was annoying, got on my nerves. I don't like them. I mean, I have wonderful Turkish friends, but as a whole, and I tell them this, as a whole, no, the people are not
Mhm.
for me. But they're not for themselves either. So I think that says something. But in Albania, I mean, I would say a lot of people do speak English, but the ones who do not, like, there's never any confusion or like we always understand each other. They always try their hardest and they are the kindest people I've ever met in a country. Like they are so amazing, so helpful, like and they don't have a lot. It's always the places where the people don't have a lot who
Mhm.
are willing to give more, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, for instance, my real estate woman, like I didn't think I'd stay here for so long, but I leased an apartment for a year and homegirl is like on call, doing things she shouldn't be doing. Like, everyone that I meet is just like, if you need something, call me. Like, we can help you with this, blah, blah, blah. The people are so kind. Little kids are like waving at me, screaming, "Oh, hey, how are you? What are you doing? Do you like King Von?" I'm like, no. But like, but they're raising their kids right. So when Shawnee was talking about her experience, her first time that she went out of town and was, working with little kids, and their parents basically allowed them to view someone who looked differently in a negative light and encourage them actually, oh yeah, we won't take you. Istanbul or Turkey, it's not the same, but like when they see people who are different, like the kids can kind of like they stare at you, maybe they'll step back, but the parents kind of like encourage it in a way, like, oh yeah, like don't be scared, don't be scared. So it makes the kids more nervous. I would always say, with your kid, don't say anything about me. They'll look at me, they'll come to me on their own, but don't make them more nervous. But kids out here, like, they do look at you, like they look at you, and every single time when a child's staring at me, the parents always say, "Go say hi," and the kids are like, "My parent says it's okay. Hey, how are you doing? I like your hair. I like your," you know what I mean? They're raising their kids to be open and okay with anyone, no matter what they look like, blah blah blah. So the people here are very kind. So basically, come, yes, girl, heart, come to Albania. I would say to visit. It's a nice
This is
place.
like a commercial. I feel like I have to go spend time. Like I have.
Maybe I should be there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up tickets tonight.
I have 3 pull-out couches. Just
Oh, don't
Oh
you ain't
yeah.
said nothing but a word. My sister already said that she trying to connect with you. I'm already like, Shawnee, please get her info because she already said that she's single. I think it's enough room for me, you, and
Yep.
CJ. I
I
think it's
I have an
enough
extra bed
room.
Okay, come
too. I
on
have an extra pull-out
through.
bed. So yes, yay. I'm gonna wrap it up. I think it's been like
Yeah,
an hour.
this has been really nice. I'm so happy
Yes.
that everyone joined and we got to meet you girls.
Yeah. We'll be trying to do these like once a month. We'll have like different topics, but we'll be posting about it. So we'd love to see you some other time. And I really want to do like maybe group meetups one
Yeah.
day. We can plan ahead of time, of course. Maybe we can vote on a country or a place we'd like to visit. It would be nice
Yes.
places where,
Albania,
you know,
Albania.
okay,
That could be a
Albania.
good first one for sure.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
Raven said October. That's my birthday. I mean, Raven, I know you want to time with your sister. She can be our sister.
You'll come, girl, October, sure.
You know what I
There'll
mean?
be room.
I actually don't think it's a bad idea. Like October is like perfect, actually.
I mean,
Okay.
that's my baby birthday. That's CJ birthday as well, and it's my birthday right
Oh,
around the corner. So let's get it popping.
Okay. I'll ask.
okay.
I forgot what
Um,
dates Raven's coming. I'm like, maybe she's asleep again, but I'll tell. I'll let you know what dates. Maybe we can plan it. That'd be nice.
Mhm.
be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
You guys be well. Enjoy.